Well, this is today's work. If you don't know this stuff here is Elaeagnus, and in the late summer when there's nothing else around, you get these tiny little flowers. Often you'll go past a shrub like this and you won't even notice this in flower, but you'll hear the buzz of bees on it when there's nothing else around. I don't know if it gives much nectar, but I think it attracts them. So what I'm doing here is, even though I know it's nearly bird nesting time, and I have checked the whole of this hedge really carefully, but I did open most of it up the week before last. I just haven't had a chance to finish it off because I actually pollarded this tree without dropping a limb on the greenhouse. Even though it's clapped out and needs new panels, it's still good for propagation. I managed to get that pollarded back, and we just do it regularly because it keeps it in check and doesn't pose a risk to the neighbour's roof. You can see where this Elaeagnus has gone onto the roof and lied on the roof for ages, and I've kind of 4 years ago when my neighbour died, I'm not laughing about that. The reason why is I'm way behind on everything. 4 years have gone and I've still done nothing about it, so I finally sorted it out today. You remember I sorted out all the brambles in the other part of the veg patch last year, and I've managed to keep that under control. Well, this is kind of the last thing that I'm taming around our nice green swimming pool. But anyway, once that's down, it's down enough now. There's no birds going to nest in that. I'm going to cut the rest back this afternoon. But you can see just how the leaf litter builds up on the roof there. So, doing my duty as a neighbour. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing some bees because we're going to get, I think I've cut myself there, or it's Marmite. How sad is that? When you live on your own. Yeah, so spring is coming and we need to get this done finished, but at least this will all be clear. And the problem is the light was being blocked up, and that will re-sprout by 4 to 6 foot this year, not 46 foot, 4 to 6 foot. And it will already cast a shadow. But the whole idea of this, I'm just trying to cut back the whole area to get a bit of light in the pool and get some natural heat in it, because that will all be clean in a month. We'll get the pump back on it, clean it all out. I'll empty most of the water out, scrub it out, and we'll be using it again this summer. But I hope we won't be using it, because that means we'll have a rotten summer and we won't have Asian hornets. So this is another big job I've been meaning to do. I've been messing around, as you know, with those cameras and everything in the bottom shed. That's great. But now I just have to come away for it because it's like boys with their toys. I could just play with that all day. But work to do. And after this is sort of done, I've got to get back on the bees. I've got loads more in the garden to do though still, to be honest. But I need to get it done, finished. So my son Thomas will get the truck just alongside in that gap there, and we can load all this on and it'll all be gone. The other thing about Elaeagnus I didn't say is the leaves actually are quite, well, not furry, but they get this like fine kind of fur underneath, and they're really good maritime wise, because if you've got a house next to the sea and you want to plant a shrub like Elaeagnus, you've got 2 or 3 types. There's limelight, Elaeagnus pungens maculata, which is the variegated one, but you also get this one, which is a common form. And it's extremely resistant to salty climates. But when you cut a lot of it and it's just pure, you almost get a dust off of it. And I've worked at clients before. You might remember some of the videos I used to do before I became a professional beekeeper full time. I used to work at this big place down in a valley near here, and they had a few shrubs of this. And when you are cutting that back, you're breathing in this like dust. It's absolutely incredible. But as far as a shrub goes, it grows like a weed. And it's an excellent plant for birds because it does offer really good nesting places. But when you come to cut it, you get quite a few spines in it. You get spiky bits like that. And it's absolutely horrible, to be honest, to manage it. You've got to cut it really regularly to get the benefit out of the shrub, to keep it under control. Because also once it goes, you get these long fronds that go over and then into the next bit, and then it all tangles up into one mess. And the only way to cut it back is with a chainsaw. So there you go, Elaeagnus. Don't get it. trying to get out to do bees, but it's sprinkling. So you've got heavy showers around, and then this side it's clear, this side it's absolutely pouring down. You see the puddles we've got. But it's warm finally, we're mild today, so I'm hoping that we can get a first look at these nukes. So we're going to just go down to the workshop and grab a bit of syrup, because I know there's a few that are going to need it. So I did a lazy thing this whole winter. I'm not going to try and hide anything. I didn't do anything with my nukes since November. I got them all fed up as well as I could, and I just left them alone. I went back to the apiary. I've been in a couple of times, but just to see the numbers are there, because obviously I want to make sure if they go walkies, I know when they went walkies, but all is there. And I was very relieved to see that they were absolutely packing in the pollen yesterday like you wouldn't believe. So just going to this place, just pick up a few bits of kit. It's now becoming an absolute luxury having this place. I'm feeling incredibly spoiled, but I can start using this now, and everything in it, syrup is all there, everything I need. Just trying to get my shit together though. Let's go and load up. Hopefully got a couple of guys coming Tuesday or Wednesday to sort this door out finally, once and for all. Just trying to get people up here is just tedious. The heat though we've got here, suddenly the sun has come out and it's humid and warm, and bees are flying well. Yes, it's t-shirt weather. So this is exciting, off we go. First trip to the bees this year. The weather's not even right today, but you've got to go in sometime, and you've got to just start that initial movement. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to go to my 2 nuke yards, and I'm going to remove any partitions that I left by mistake, have a look at the colonies. I know some are going to be super strong, just to get an idea of what feed they've got left. I've got syrup with me. I've got fondant at home. If I need it, I can come back and get it, but I've got enough syrup with me to do the first apiary anyway. They're flying regularly, so they can have syrup now, even though next week's going to be a little bit colder. But we have had rain, which is fantastic. So in terms of difference between this spring and last spring, already we're at least 2 weeks later. About the rapeseed is still not even in bud yet. There's some buds coming, but the majority is well behind. So I anticipate there's going to be at least a week to 2 weeks later, which makes a big difference for the bees. Because obviously, you know that in most years, we're not even able to get the bees ready before the rape comes out. Anyway, long story short, it looks better, but I haven't got that many bees. I've lost probably 30-40% of my production hives, but all my nukes are good as far as I know, and I think I've got about 70 to 80 nukes, so that's going to boost up what I had, what I've lost, and obviously I'll be able to raise some queens in about 4 to 5 weeks. So anyway, let's get up there and see what we find when we get there. Just to give you a quick look at our rapeseed, you can see there's a few flowers coming up there, but in 2 weeks that has changed significantly. It's gone from a grey, bluey colour to a green, lush, bushy shrub, and long story short, within 3 weeks that is going to start to flower. Here's the mimosa I talked about, and basically it's got hammered by the wind, but it still might give a bit to the bees, but unfortunately this year we didn't get much of it. This is the classic scenario when you arrive. All around here we have lots of this. This is goat willow, and you can see the bees are on it like a rash. My point is about these apiaries is when you get there this time of year, often you can't get in. I know that there's actually a land drain that runs the back of this one. If I'd have gone into the field, this part, I'll get stuck. So I have to wait till probably May time before that's dry enough. But it doesn't bother me. I know now my limitations this field. And there's all my nukes over there. Thankfully they're all still there. The rare moment you come into an apiary and all you can hear is bees, which is pretty cool. Let's go and have a look down here then, shall we? All pretty good. That's what I like to see. Loads of bees flying everywhere. A few losses here and there, but I can live with that. When you consider how many Asian hornets we had last year. So I'm going to go through these in a minute, and we're going to, subject to it not raining, we're going to have a good look at what we've got. Take the empty ones away, a couple of dead outs there, a couple of smaller ones, and probably do some evening out. They're looking particularly good. I wonder if that snail realises where he actually landed. Look at that pollen coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 8 here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to get out of here and get my gear on before I get stung. But that's a good sight to see. I'm not going to talk about these mini plus because that's a complete disaster. Almost all dead. Too vulnerable. I harvested the queens last summer thinking a lot of them would requeen, and they didn't. Now I've got to clear the whole lot out. I think there's 2 alive there out of all of those. Not good statistics, but it is what it is. That one's doing all right, lol. The rest have all got to be cleared out. I know there's mice in them as well. All that crap to sort out. Loads of work to do. This is what happens when you do a build. You have to divert your energies from one place to another. But with the Asian hornet we had last year, I was kind of at the end of the season, and I'm like, I kind of lost my emphasis, lost my direction, but now I feel that what I did was perhaps not as bad as I first thought I did. I might have got away with a lot, but now I'm going to do what I can to put things into place to make everything as good as I can, as quick as I can. So I've got a load of production hives here, and the majority are all alive as well. Big and small colonies. A few losses the other end, but it is what it is. Nice pollen going in. Time to go through all these. The apiary could do with a quick cut actually. This hedge has got to be cut still. Let's get on. We needed the rain, we've got it. I'm glad. In some respects, this has almost gone over a bit. It does go over really quick, this stuff. But I think there's so much around that wherever they go, they're going to find pollen. Well, it's good to get the old suit out again. And yes, smoker I haven't used since last year. This is how slack I've been. I told you I'm no model for beekeeping. It is what it is. I still find that straw is the best smoker fuel with granules, wood granules. But you need dry straw, that's the thing. Otherwise it just doesn't light properly. And I think this might be a little bit damp, but it'll get warm. Got a fire going! Woohoo! Come on, you. Yes, there we go. However, I have got my bucket of disinfectant. My hive tools are all freshly bleached. Freshly bleached. Don't forget that when you're doing your first inspections, you could almost, to be honest, clean your hive tools between hives if you wanted to. I just feel that that early intervention is really good when you're thinking about hygienic between hives and apiaries. It's a good idea. You won't go wrong with keeping all your hive tools and all your equipment clean. This is going to be a bit to keep going today, I just know it.
That'll do. That's warmed up. Get really hot and we should be fine. At least the bellows are working well anyway.
Already this is a huge colony. Yes, I've still got my feeders on, but they're inside. Let's see what this is going to be like. They're not all going to be this good, I don't think. I may even do some equalising with this. Let's see how it goes. But wow, this is absolutely nice to see. Yeah, and there's my amatraz treatment that I didn't take out either. See, all bad practice, but I'm sure there's a lot of other beekeepers around that will do exactly the same. Let's get that out now. It's got to be, we take these now to be destroyed carefully, properly. Let's have a look what we're doing in here. Let's make a bit of space. This is the partition, this can come out. So this is what I wanted to find today, to give myself a little bit of time. But this colony already looks like it could go in a hive. Loads of bees on that other side. Shake them off. A little bit of smoke. They're not aggressive, they're just flying around. These are all nice queens from Tenuta I bought last year because I didn't have any mating going on, and I'm so glad I did because I wouldn't have these nukes now. So this is a lot of honey in this frame still, and there's brood as well. That is fantastic. Beautiful colonies, but plenty of honey. So that's all I wanted to see in this one. A whole raft of honey there, both sides. They're obviously going to be consuming it, but I just see a queen there along the bottom. She's laying. There's loads of larvae there. First hive I've opened of the year, and nice. So I'm going to put this to the back, and I'm going to put a frame of foundation in this space. See, I haven't got lugs in this particular hive, but still plenty of honey there. This doesn't need a feed. Really pleased with this. Nice lot of brood, good brood pattern. Plenty of pollen in the frames. There's no need to feed pollen sub to these colonies at all at the moment. They're all looking really good. And in fact, there's less bees on that last frame. Now the rain's about to start, but I don't think it's going to be much. I'm wearing gloves because I just can't be bothered to get stung today. Plenty of honey there, look, as well. So this colony is really good, and if I give a frame of brood, there's the queen at the bottom. A nice green dot queen, marked by tenuta there. Look at her on top of that honey now. She is doing really well. This colony is going to explode, but I'm kind of glad I came when I did, because it just shows me overall that they're all good, but they're not massive yet. This colony is going to explode, like I said. There's plenty of honey in that frame, so look at that pollen there. So that's going to be a brood site very shortly, and I think the queen's probably already been laying in that, and she's been laying in that. So let's look at this last frame, see what we got here. This is lighter. This doesn't have brood in it yet. So, just loads of nectar. Excuse me. Oh, for goodness sake. So this colony is really good. Let's just make this a bit better so I don't squash that queen. I'm going to put this frame back in here because there's no brood on that one. And I'm going to put this frame back in its place because there's no brood on that one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new frame in here because this all has brood on these outer frames. So I'm going to keep the brood together. I'm not going to break it up just yet. But with this poly nuke, there wouldn't be a problem. I don't believe in checkerboarding myself unless conditions are absolutely right. For me, checkerboarding can be done in May. I wouldn't risk doing it this time of year, especially we've got cold nights coming up next week. And we're going to pop a nice frame of foundation into the colony just there. So the reason why I'm doing this here is because I said this has got honey, this has got honey. I could put it between the two honey frames, but because my thinking is, because the whole colony is doing so well and there's so much food in the brood frames, I want to try and decompress the brood frames a bit. And I'm certainly not going to feed this nuke, it doesn't need it. Because they'll build that, they'll puff that up like no tomorrow, and there's almost too much brood in it, too much food in this colony. Because I know they're going to be bringing in tons of pollen, the queen's going to want to lay. So if they've got some way of decompressing it a bit, happy days. But I'm not going to feed this colony. We're going to get all new covers for the hives this year. For all of them, they're all going to have new plastic tops on. And that is that first inspection done, the very first one. Plenty of bees, nice bees, pretty happy. I'm not complaining at all with that. If they were all like that, I'd be incredibly delighted, but also worried, because I'd be thinking, crap, we have got to get these moved on quickly. But anyway, it's raining now, so I'm going to have to abandon it. But that's the first one anyway. I've got to go through the rest as and when I can. It's not looking too good. If you look over there, it's pretty dark. So I'm just going to skedaddle back to the truck. It's not even April showers yet. So I don't know whether we're going to have to abandon. It depends how long that's going to take to clear. But we shall see. This is sometimes what happens when you have a low pressure and there's no wind. The showers become almost stationary. One shower we've got, the other side's clear. You can see how bright it is behind me, but that side is absolutely dark as hell. So I'm just going to have to give it 5 minutes more. We're 2:45 already in the afternoon. I've got a stack of work I could be doing at home. So I'm just going to jack it in now. Just been looking at the rain forecast, and we're right on the edge of it for the next half an hour to an hour, and I'm going to get drenched anyway, so what's the point? I'm going to go and close up those hives down there, and foxtrot Oscar back home for a cup of tea, because there's not much else you can do in this weather. Catch you guys later. Bye for now. My whole suit is absolutely drenched to the arms. Let's go home.